So I've been on YouTube for nearing a decade at this point, and YouTube is actually how I'm able to feed my 4 kids and how my husband Doug and I are able to live this abundantly rich and full life. And so I know what it feels like firsthand to choose a niche, to actually stick to a niche, to then claim burnout because it just wasn't growing you fast enough, to pivot and choose another niche. And so today's video is all about niches and how the niche that you choose is really make or break your success or burnout on YouTube and starting over and rinse and repeating that process. And so the key to choosing a niche is to actually choose a niche that has a low supply and a high demand on YouTube. If you find these types of niches, you will blow up your YouTube channel within a matter of like a couple videos, and it will give you the momentum needed to not claim burnout, to actually see a return on your time invested as being a YouTuber, and to show not only people but yourself that you can do this. And so you're one step closer to turning a profit and making this a full-time income. And so in today's video, I'm going to reveal to you guys the extensive research that my husband Doug and I did on basically the top trendiest YouTube niches that are also very lucrative in 2024 and beyond. So I'm going to show you guys behind the scenes of how we found these niches, the potential for them, how you can make money with them, and also our framework for how to pick the right one for you. So before we get into the niches themselves, let me reiterate again, if you choose the wrong niche, you can literally waste, and I've done this actually, I've seen so many of my peers and students do this, years of your life. Now, obviously I don't believe in failure, it's just lessons learned, but if you choose a niche that is maybe not as lucrative as another niche or harder to grow, you'll claim burnout, start the process again, and rinse and repeat. Or worse, you'll just say being a YouTuber is too hard, which is not the truth. You just picked an incredibly hard niche to create content on, and it doesn't support your lifestyle or your goals, which we'll get into. So here's how you pick a niche. So the number one criteria that you really need to meditate and just obsess over is this. It needs to be something that you can monetize beyond AdSense or brand deals. We want to be able to actually turn your channel into a business. And because of that, you need to be able to build a brand around real products that actually sell. The second criteria is that it needs to be something that you plan to do for a very long time. I think in terms of YouTube, in terms of decades. So when going into our main channel that we have, American Dream Revival, you guys can check us out over there. We teach people, or we basically talk about how to revive the traditional American values we feel like our country is losing. As a complete side tangent to this channel, we really thought like, is this something we can talk about these topics for 10 years? Does it feel mission focused? Does it feel like it's something we get excited to wake up to? If the answer is yes, it obviously was, then we're going to continue to do it. I've done niches in the past and tried and dabbled in different things where I just was looking for views. I just thought that the more views you got, the more money you made. But really the money is made in longevity. Is it something that you are going to sustain through having babies? That's me. Through like getting married, or through moving, states, or through job changes, through like different lifestyle changes? Is it something you can sustain for at least a decade or more? If so, then do it. The third criteria is actually choosing a sticky sub niche, okay? So I'm gonna get into the popping niches in a minute, just bear with me. This is actually what I use for my criteria for choosing the top 10 trending sub niches of 2024 is, does it have a sticky sub niche? So I mentioned this in another video, I'll link in the card above and down below what this really is, but it basically has to be a trending niche within an overarching category. It needs to be a sub niche that is currently picking up a lot of momentum right now today and is currently trending within the category that you live in. So for instance, motherhood is not a niche, it is an industry, it is a category. But biblical femininity as like a homemaker is a sub niche that is really trending. So obviously that's not gonna be for a lot of you guys. Maybe you're a man out there watching this, but you have to make sure that whatever sub niche you are attaching yourselves to, which I'll show you examples in a minute, bear with me, is something that currently has a low supply of videos or topics being posted on YouTube and then a high supply of demand. You know this when you find tiny creators popping off, like their videos are getting like a ton of views within just 30 days. But if you choose from the examples that I'm about to share with you guys, or a sticky sub niche that is popping within your own category, you will have the best chances of going viral and getting that return on your time invested that much faster. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the 10 most viral trending sub niches of 2024. Now, a lot of them, again, you guys are gonna be like, well, I can't do this. This is not my lifestyle, but you're gonna learn a lesson from looking at all of these niches and the sticky sub niche that I'm talking about. And you're gonna be able to use this skill skill of finding low supply, high demand sub niches and apply it to your own category. So that's why you should stick for the whole video. But the first one is prepping. Now you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I am not a prepper. I don't can beans. And you know, I would like to do all that stuff with my spare time. Honestly, it's my vibe, but I'm not a prepper either, but you can still learn something from this, okay? So if you don't know what prepping is, and if you're not American, I think is this just an American thing, like doomsday? I don't know. Let me know if you're from another country and you got preppers. So prepping is a lifestyle niche, and it's basically about people who are getting prepared for certain situations, you know, like natural disasters, civil war. I mean, I don't know, the country's kind of in a weird place. We should all probably get on this bandwagon to be safe. But I like this niche if you're into this, because there's lots of variety within the sub niches attached to it. There's urban prepping, prepping on farms, DIY prepping, survival food. Like there's so many things. It's pretty much for anybody, guys, girls, old, young. Even the non-prepping influencers are touching on the topic because remember, it's a sticky sub niche. Like I say, it's one that kind of concerns everybody, and it's very, very viral right now. So it's very how-to. You could do tutorials on the topic, and I love it because it's searchable. I like to do things that I can control, which is searchable content that people are actively typing in. I don't really like to guess what the masses are feeling and the trends surrounding their feelings. For instance, a searchable topic would be, my life changed because I did this. And it's like you prepping, you know, or basically something that people are not actively searching for. So I love that it's a searchable niche. So businesses that can come from it are, you know, you can sell courses on prepping, you can coach people on prepping, there's ebooks, there's products like pocket knives, water bottles. I mean, there's so many examples you guys can see on the screen, but love it because it's searchable and it's very viral right now. The second one is off-grid living. Does this kind of have a theme here? I don't know, kind of weird. But off-grid living, again, is a more lifestyle niche. We actually have a student that's seriously doing well. The home intent, I'll put her on the channel, but she is showing really steady growth when she switched from motherhood to really doing something like a sticky sub niche, which is off-grid living. This is where people are living in rural areas. It's not connected to a city's electricity or water, obviously. It's videos about their different lifestyle. They live counterculture. So I think it's just really interesting to people. And it's popping off, I think, 'cause it's a more shocking lifestyle. It just attracts people naturally. You can hit on a variety of topics, which is great. So you can talk about cooking off-grid, cleaning off-grid, raising kids off-grid, and you can just really integrate it with your daily life. Business ideas are tools, kits, things to help make off-grid living easier, or you can do like a Patreon to show the behind the scenes of what it looks like. So it's a traditional influencer route, but you can monetize in so many different ways. This one is so random. And when my husband and I went down this wormhole, we like couldn't come back from it, but it's basically cyber security. Okay, so let's mix it up. It's basically the job of protecting computers and networks from hacking. A variety of videos are popping off because it's an up and coming career that pays relatively well. People are capitalizing on their stories in cybersecurity, how-tos, tutorials, even day in the lives. So even if you're not like doing a career in cybersecurity and you're like, how the heck does this apply? I just got to skip forward, and you might anyways. But you have to know that you don't need to just like take a YouTube niche that like you're interested in. You can take something that you do for a job and look to see if people are documenting their day jobs. In fact, I should have just replaced this with documenting your day job. I see so many niches that are going viral in like, you know, behind the scenes of what it looks like to do IT work or nursing, being a doctor. So you don't necessarily have to quit your job to be a YouTuber. If that's your goal, maybe this is a great launch pad. It's just document your life in a job that you're already having to do. Another example is we are actually currently helping a pilot teach people how to become pilots. So he's documenting his day job. Obviously that's nice because he's a pilot. It's like such a cool career, right? It's not like you're a teacher, but you can honestly, teachers are even doing it. If you're a teacher and you're looking to document, obviously not the kids in your classroom, but like behind the scenes, you can even do some at home. You don't have to expose people that don't want to be exposed on the internet, but just sharing the realities of doing your job and helping people get the job or helping people get better at the job that you're doing can be in the form of courses or coaching. It's very lucrative. So the fourth thing that is popping off, which I think that it's like no surprise, but it's digital minimalism. So this is in like the self-help category. So underneath is the sticky sub niche. So as you notice, these are all sticky. I'm sticking them to a category and I'm sticking the sub niche that is trending and going viral. That's why it's called sticky sub niche. That I made up, but it only makes sense. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But digital minimalism, okay? So minimalism, or just like, honestly, it would be more of like organization, self-help's the category, and then the sub niche underneath it that we validated because we find a low supply of videos and a high demand. And we know that because we're finding tiny creators popping off is digital minimalism. This is basically a take on minimalism. So things to do with like your phone, computer, how to stop buying things, or how to stop wanting things. I saw like a tiny creator pop off from a video topic called how to stop wanting things. It's like minimalism, but we're taking it online. We all know people have such an addiction with screens. We actually went viral with a screen-free reel on our main account, American Dream Revival. Check us out over there if you're interested in traditional family values and reviving the home. Anyways, but we went viral on that account, on Instagram specifically, because there was a low supply of screen-free families and a high demand for that type of content. So it went viral like instantly. But digital minimalism is a great one because there's a big range of videos, as you can see in this niche. There's guides on how people are quitting screens altogether to get rid of the screen addiction, turning their smartphones in for dumb phones. There's also people talking about just reducing their screen time through different strategies. I like this niche because there's a huge TAM, total addressable market. The bigger the TAM is, the easier it is to get views. It's not necessarily a bad thing if your TAM is small. If you're doing something that's super niche and you don't want to be discouraged by a low amount of views, you just have to know it's going to be harder to grow that way. But I do like this one because screens apply to everybody. Business-wise, this is going to be a little bit more tough though. So aside from like ebooks or apps that would help make your phones dumb phones, you could lead it down like a more self-development program route where disconnecting from tech is a component of becoming a better parent or helping with depression. So I guess you could sell your own products on this, but as you can tell, I'm always looking like, how can I monetize this? Is this gonna be worth my time invested away from my family to create content? Is it easy to create content? Okay, so we didn't talk about that, but when you think about all of these niches, you have to ask yourself, is it easy to get content out on the internet? If it's not, there's a big bottleneck because I gotta film my life, I gotta film my kids, they don't wanna be filmed, like whatever it is, then don't do that, okay? So the fifth one is the EDC niche. So if you are in your 30s, I'm 32, and you think this is, now I don't remember what that is. EDC was like the raving back in the 90s. I don't know, my sister did it, she's 40. It's not that EDC with the rave music. Basically, this is a tech sub niche. There's this thing called the everyday carry. Basically, it's a bunch of gadget obsessed guys that talk about what they carry on their body every day for whatever they're doing, okay? So it's like those old mom, am I old mom? Whatever. It's like, you know, back in 2015 when everyone did what's in their diaper bag, and that was me. It's like for dudes, like honestly, they wanna be cool, you know? Sometimes it's tech, sometimes it's belt or accessories, but there's one category of EDC that stands out above the rest, and it happens to be the one that Doug is obsessed with. And my husband Doug is obsessed with being prepared for whatever comes his way. So he carries a ton of stuff in his pockets, but you'd never know, like a flashlight, gauze, a tourniquet, a knife, a wallet, a lighter, some other stuff. And there's a bunch of grown men that just love to talk about what they carry on them to prepare them for life. Why? I don't know, but I like this niche because there's a sheer variety of things you can create content on. The items range from tech to tools to safety, and there's budget guides, reviews, gift ideas, essentials, and it's basically for a variety of people like photographers, preppers, survivalists. So if I were to start this niche, I would try to find an area or a sticky sub niche where it's not really touched upon a lot, like digital minimalism or like slow productivity or slow living. That's like a really hot sticky sub niche right now for just like the self-help overarching category, right? And so I would try to find something that was viral and make videos on the things that I carry every day. Like pocket journals is like a huge one right now. People will turn everything into like what they can carry into their pockets. And so that's what I would do. Try to find something that obviously, like I said, there's a theme, low supply, high demand. So the sixth popping sub niche, which I think is like the best thing to happen to social media that is really going viral, is faith-based lifestyle channels. So this is obviously within the lifestyle niche. These are anything from, like I already mentioned, biblical homemaking to basically just being a Christian. There are so many people going viral on these topics, podcasters, people that are obviously just YouTubers, and even people on Instagram, because I think for a long time, Christians specifically, like myself, it's really sad, but we just didn't feel called to create content on the Christian faith in an engaging way. It was always like pastors just uploading their sermons to YouTube, and it wasn't people diving into this as like a career, which is good or bad, but I think it is honestly a good thing. And so this is super trending right now. What I mostly see is women though, exploring their faith and discussing how biblical principles guide them in everyday life. They can do this, like I said, through what it means to be a woman and a mom and traditional gender roles, and like it or not, this is something that is really, really promising for 2024 moving forward. And specifically as a business, I personally see memberships, okay, where the main goal is to understand biblical lifestyles. We have several students that do this full time. They have courses and memberships on how to be a biblical woman and how to like keep a home and how to support their wife. And basically it's just an encouraging environment for lots of Christian women to come and share their lessons. And so that's a great way to make a business from it. But anyways, number 7 is slow living. I've already mentioned this, I think, as an example. It's a lifestyle niche, obviously. I was kind of hesitant though to put slow living as one of these topics just because of the sheer number of people going viral in this category. But honestly, I just feel it cannot be ignored. It's something that is definitely one of the top 10. You know, minimalism is a sub niche where people talk about how they simplify their life and become more intentional, basically leading to to self-help, and slow living is sort of like a parallel to that. So this is just obviously what it is. It's like under consumption, you know, buying less stuff, being content with what you have, staying at home, enjoying the little things of life, not like anti-hustle culture almost. And some people are selling courses, other people are selling their own products. So the 8th one is cooking. So this is obvious, this cooking has been around forever, but there's a specific form of cooking that is really going viral. I think you really can't ignore this as well, but it's cooking from scratch. So back in COVID, when we all couldn't find bread or toilet paper, everyone was making sourdough bread. And I would have said that if I made this video back during COVID, sourdough bread and food from scratch. But that has not gone away, okay? Food from scratch is honestly one of the most viral categories on social media right now, making everything from scratch. Even on Instagram, this is not just YouTube. People are making like goldfish from scratch. I just saw a reel the other day and it was like making my honey, you know, a peanut butter jelly from scratch, or making my husband a Coca-Cola from scratch. He's over there chopping the sugar cane down and getting the sugar from, it's crazy, okay? Basically eating raw whole foods in the state that they're meant to be eaten in. And yeah, making sourdough bread, fermenting things, making homemade yogurts and pickles and sauerkraut. That is very, very trending right now. Also, on another vein, recession meals. Okay, random, but how to save money eating like you are living in a recession. I know you're like, wow, that sounds horrible, but people want to save money. So food from scratch on a budget layers you down even further to now you're double timing the searchable capabilities of your title and your whole channel. So yeah, recession meals is also another thing if you're getting into that. Now you could do cookbooks and cooking utensils, cooking classes, or even your own food products if you're bold enough, but that one is a really good one. So the 9th one is art business channels. Obviously we've seen artists go viral because there's always been artists like in the world, right? But anytime someone talks about making money gets views, right? That's what we all kind of are looking for, is to better our lives, have more abundance, have more means in our life. And so now artists are going into like the make money online niche, and it's proven very, very successful for them because obviously there's a huge demand. Starving artists is not a phrase for no reason, right? So artists are looking to make money. They want to sell their arts, but they also want to make money so they can be artists. So they'll talk about their income streams, show behind the scenes work, tools they used. And it's not just art. There's actually a lot more to it than that. We know that you need to be a certain kind of special just to get popular from your art. One of our students did this and actually sells a course on how to do gouache painting. I don't know if I'm butchering that word. So it's almost like a blend of art and the make money online niche, creating the perfect sub niche for artists to create another business on top of their art. They can sell courses, they can sell their own arts, create their own art products, and all of those things. So the last trending niche that I wanted to touch on is one focused with the category of mental health. Okay, so discussions around mental health are on the rise in 2024, especially everyone's addicted to the phones. I think that's why the screen-free stuff's going viral. But this is more specifically channels centered around creating content for people that battle with certain mental health problems, okay? And not even just mental health, just like personality makeup. So it's not just mental health. But for instance, there's several under this umbrella that I found. One is like how to do things if you're an introvert, okay? So there are channels and videos going viral for how I do XYZ as an introvert. Another one is how to do things and how to accomplish life with ADHD. That one is massively popular right now. So creating channels for people that battle with these things every day is absolutely going viral. And as far as the business aspect, obviously the same thing, selling a course ideally, or a coaching program, or a membership. I don't know, just documenting your own daily life in Patreon or doing a subscription model would be great. So that is pretty much it for the top 10 viral sub niches, and also how to choose a sub niche to attach yourself to, what a sticky sub niche is. If you guys got value from this, I would love it if you could subscribe to my channel. I make new videos every single week about being a content creator. I also have a free challenge for how to actually go from 0 to 6 figures on social media, selling your own assets. So if that interests you, grab it down below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.